Afternoon Wood. Hey, look, I wanted to just come on and talk very quickly about this true story project because I feel like Kevin Hart here executes something that I've been repeating emphatically. One thing is, as a uh, as a black movie watcher, TV series watcher, as a consumer of black entertainment, give me something besides hustling, killing for drugs and gangsters and thugs. How many more of those do we need? Secondly, do your produce your own stuff. When you get into a position to to do it all, to create something, to fund it, to get the writers, to produce it, to get the director, and to bring the whole project from conception to fruition on the screen, do it. And don't sit here waiting for other people to write something for you that you want or whatever. Make it happen. And so Kevin Hart is a producer on here. Shout out to him working with Wesley Snipes, who plays his brother C or Carlton, and I enjoyed it. It's a 7-part miniseries. I don't know if it's going to be a second season. On Rotten Tomatoes, they have season 1, which would imply there's a season 2. If you watched it already, which I'm gonna get into some spoiler material, then you will know something pretty big happened at the end of something I totally didn't see coming. Something happened in the final episode. So what could they focus on if there is a season 2? But it's pretty open ended based on the subject matter. So let's talk about it really quickly. I enjoyed it. Was it groundbreaking? Is it legendary? Is it all time? Is it a classic? No, I don't think it was meant to be that. But I liked it. I think the episodes are about 30 minutes long, 35 minutes long, and whatnot, which is a little different for a thriller. It's not really a comedy. But the story is basically around a pair of brothers. We just saw another set of brothers indirectly on Netflix's The Harder They Fall. And I'll get into that connection, that through line right there in just a second. But this is basically Kevin Hart plays a comedian with an acting career, had a couple successful movies and whatnot. He's actually from Philadelphia, which he is in real life. He plays this comedian named Kid. He has a brother who's kind of living off of his success, and he goes home as part of a tour stop, and is reunited with his brother. He's there with his small business team that helps him do his touring, and he goes to hang out with his brother, and something unfortunate happens, and he goes to a party, ends up with a young woman, and when he wakes up in the morning, the young woman is not awake. And his brother, Carlton, kind of introduced him to this woman, or at least had him in the club that night, and then encouraged him to drink. And we learned later on in the show that he had a bout with substance or alcohol abuse. And so him and young woman, had this situation, and he needs to figure out how to get rid of this body without harming his career. And his brother is in this suite with them at the hotel, the Four Seasons in Philadelphia. And as he goes to resolve this major problem, he wants to call the police and get an ambulance and go about it the right way. His brother is like, nah, you can't. They're gonna get all up in your business. You're gonna get blamed for this, blah blah blah. To be the end of the world. And so his brother Carlton, Wesley Snipes, goes to employ a fixer in Billy Zane. I didn't really recognize that this was Billy Zane at first. I haven't seen him in a lot of projects lately. When Billy Zane comes in, they really put the screws to Kid and basically it becomes a matter of extortion to the tune of $6 million to make this body disappear. And Kid is so upset that he fell into this situation, and his brother has a track record of things not working out. And so he's so pissed off that he kills uh, Billy Zane, who plays a guy named Ari, who's a Greek. He's part of a Greek family in town that operates in the underworld. And so when he kills Ari, now he has a second body to get rid of, and they don't have a fixer. So fast forwarding, spoiler alert, the more that he tries to fix things, the more that he gets in trouble because he's not a crook. He's not a criminal. And the more that he gets involved and involves Carlton and stuff, things go even more awry. And so really fast forwarding, if you pay attention to it, you start thinking, what really happened here? And the Greek brothers start asking questions about their brother who disappeared. Now, if you watch what's going on right now with any of the murder shows like Deadline or Nightline, whatever it's called, you know damn well it's impossible to kill somebody that you know right now. Whether or not it's cameras in hotels, cameras on, out, Big Brother is everywhere. Cell phone pings, social media can be used against you. What's good, Jelly Bean? How you doing, bro? So it gets to the point in here where the pressure that these Greek brothers are starting to put on Carlton for their missing brother, this is a part of the plan that we eventually find out that Carlton set all of this in motion. That's the spoiler alert. Wesley Snipes, he had been behind the wall for a minute. And, he, like I said, he relies on his brother for money and to invest in his business aspirations. And of course, he screws everything up. That's good, bro. Good to hear that. And as Carlton feels that the business team is getting ready to cut him out, to cut off the spigot, of funds, endlessly funding your dream projects, your restaurant, your car wash, your catering business, as the business team is like, hey, you can't burden yourself with this anymore. That man has to stand on his own. So what Carlton has done is he had the woman play dead in the hotel room so that and then he brought in Ari to blackmail his brother so that he could get the $6 million, and then they would go on and live their lives. So Kid basically, he eventually figures out that his brother was behind it. Now he's pissed off because his brother caused him to kill a man. He killed Ari with a cord for his cell. I mean, for the charger cord for his phone. He strangled him. So he has real blood on his hands. And so by the end of the movie, by the end of the series, in the 7th episode, the Greek brothers have truly put 2 and 2 together, and they realize that Carlton has something to do with Ari's disappearance. And then probably based on the last known whereabouts of Ari, which was at the hotel that Kid was staying at, now they got to get Kid too because he was involved. So in the final episode, Kid goes to confront his brother that he knows that he played him. And, he's pissed as hell at his brother because he caused him to have to take someone's life, being caught up in his bullshit. But the Greek dudes, they come and confront the brothers. And they got guns out, drawn, and they're shooting. And so they're at this Philadelphia 76ers game where Kid has basically told Carlton, fuck out of my life, bro. You dead to me. This shit right here, it's over with. Don't call me no more. Stay out of my life. But as they go get in the car and part ways forever, the Greek dudes come in the building and start chasing them down. And then I think that's when we get into the final scene that I didn't see coming. And the way to fully wrap this whole thing up is just like in The Harder They Fall, Kid kills his own brother. He takes his life to kill the two Greek dudes, and then he makes it look like the Greek dude shot his brother, and subsequently or consequently, he killed the two Greek dudes to protect his own life. And because they killed his brother, that's how the whole situation is wrapped up. He can go on about his life and continue on with his career as a comedian and an actor. So that's it in a nutshell. I thought it was well done for the most part. The only downside for me, and again, I know I'm critical of stuff. What's new? But this is not really a bad thing necessarily. It's just, it was a little cliche because obviously Kevin Hart is a comedian. So he's a comedian playing a comedian, that's a little, we've seen it before. And, it really wasn't him stepping out doing something kind of like totally new. That's just a small thing that I picked up. But it's two rules in writing books and making movies and all of this type of stuff. One, write what you know. Now I don't know if he had anything to do with writing this, but if you want to tell a story, he knows the life of a performing comedian. So it's not the end of the world because he plays a comedian. Secondly, the story really works because, like I said, he has a small business team, his manager with him. He has the lady that writes some of his jokes for him. She's in the mix. And then he has his business manager who is overseeing everything and making sure that everything stays on schedule as they try to go do this comedy tour. So it all fits. It all makes sense. It's nothing that I'm watching and I'm like, this is some dumb shit. This is a waste of my time. So that's not really a knock against the miniseries. I just know that Kevin Hart has, just like Jamie Foxx, Kevin Hart has been adamant in explaining that, I had to do some of these comedies, these different movies. I had to keep doing the comedies because I had to get a certain amount of influence and leverage to be able to do the projects that I really want to do. So that's why you see some of these guys make so many horrible and terrible movies at the beginning of their career, because you're just trying to work. You're just trying to get a bag. You're just trying to build your filmography. Hopefully you move up to bigger projects. You become a box office success. And then once you fully establish yourself, you can potentially or conceivably, you can do a project that you want to do. So I just feel like for here, it was. Like I said, it's not groundbreaking. It's not a classic miniseries. It's not. But it was decently paced. It kept my attention, and it's okay. The other thing that I'll go into is just looking at the details of the story. I mean, I somewhat dug the relationship between the two brothers because I think in a lot of black families, I don't know much about white families, but I know in a lot of the sibling relationships in my two families, in my own situation with my older brother. And I ain't no comedian. I ain't got no money. I ain't no millionaire. I'm just a thousandaire. But I had to look out for my older brother. And I thought it was very accurately portrayed in how a relationship, when you constantly doing for someone, and if you got 10 cents, you got to spend 4 or 5 of it on your brother, and this is your older brother. And at the end, I thought it was some very heartfelt. Exactly. It was good to see West. I said that at the beginning before you came on. So I really dug the dynamic between Wesley Snipes and Kevin Hart. And I think like I said, the ending was caught me off guard. I thought it was gonna get resolved completely different, in a different manner. And even when it was fixed, and Kevin Hart thought he could go on, kid thought he could go on with his life, his brother went and tried to do something else, and he put the Greeks on to Gene, who was a super fan of Kid, and it ended up that they could the story. That's how the brothers got dragged into it, and then the Greeks realized that Kid and Carlton were the true culprits who they needed to get. So I really appreciate that part of it. I also liked how social media was incorporated into the storytelling. I really respected how me and my partner Latoris talk about how we get to see so much behind the scenes now, especially with me talking about a lot of boxing and listening to a ton of rap music. I see so much more now of when these artists are working on projects, when these artists get into different situations. Last week I saw a producer call out Benny the Butcher, and the shit popped up on Instagram, and this producer and Benny the Butcher were going back and forth, and I'm like, what the, this could be some serious shit. Hey, what's up, Janine? I enjoyed it too. But I saw this in real time to where this producer and Benny the Butcher was having some words on social media, and I was like, why are they doing this publicly like this? And this is a situation that could have quickly escalated into somebody's life being put in danger. And probably 4 hours later, that post on Instagram disappeared, and it was deleted, and somebody got involved and squashed that shit. So I think the way that they incorporated social media here when they were showing Gene come into the circle, the inner circle, and all of a sudden behind the scene, Gene became somebody that fans of Kid were interested in. Within an hour he had like 2,000 or 4,000 new followers or whatever. So I liked how they captured that. I also dug the way that they dealt with celebrity and fandom. Again, a lot of everyday people feel like they can watch these celebrities and you know what they're doing on a daily basis. And some people get into that. Honestly, I don't follow too many people. Especially when I get a glimpse of this person. I might rock with this person with the movies, the roles that they portray, or I might like a album that they have. But as an individual, this person is pretty corny to me. I see people like a lot of boxers too. I follow boxers with my Bite Down Boxing social media Instagram account, but I usually go back to my personal Instagram account, and I don't follow what they do. And to be honest with you, more increasingly, I don't even follow them on Instagram on my boxing account no more, because I really don't give a fuck what a lot of these dudes do outside of the ring. A lot of these guys really ain't that interesting to me. And a lot of guys disappoint you. I saw a couple weeks ago Devin Haney, phenomenal young dude, a cool young brother, but he had a video about him buying a bunch of jewelry and stuff. And as a dude who has some nice student loans out there, I look at money differently, and I know he might have it, but what good is that for me to do to sit here and watch him purchase some jewelry from his personal jeweler? And I don't even, so anyway, I just like, like I said, people seem to have this fascination with celebrities, and they tell celebrities everything they do is great, that they're great. I want to be just like you. This inspired me. Pandemic made me unfollow it. Yeah. A lot of idiotic shit. I that's just me though. That's just me. And then other than that, my last point was, again, I thought the resolution, I really wasn't sure how they were going to wrap the show up. But I thought the final scene with Kevin Hart ending up killing his own brother, shooting him basically in cold blood. A little over the top, a little over the top. I mean, they already fought once in like episode 6 or something. You know, they boxed a little bit, but I really didn't think that he was that far along the line with his brother where he felt like he had to get rid of him to save himself from continuing to get involved in his fuckery. So I understand it. Going through a lot of situations with my older brother who had a lot of issues to this day, wasting my time, costing me money, disappointing my mother. Like I get it, but in that snap second to like I said to shoot your brother I think he shot him twice. I didn't see that coming. And then, like I said, that's kind of similar. We just saw The Harder They Fall on Netflix a month ago, and that was another situation. My brother's keeper, Cain and Abel, and that particular episode was actually called Chapter 7, like Cain did Abel. So, like I said, man, I enjoyed the show for the most part. Again, it's great to see an actor or a comedian become an actor and then get into producing projects that he wants to do, employing other people, helping other individuals tell their stories, helping, directors be able to direct content, helping screenwriters be able to get their ideas out there some way. I thought Wesley was going to get done. I was thinking kid would let the Greeks get him. I did, but I mean, the way that the Greeks came in, they really didn't seem to be too interested in listening to anybody. They came in the door busting guns, so I mean, it wasn't no time to talk. Uh, the one thing that was funny, Janine, was the fact that Hirsch was so serious about his job, and Hirsch he got in the mix for like 2 seconds and got laid down, and didn't even factor into it. Uh, that was the other thing. Oh, sorry, that's another area. Like I said, I'm critical of stuff. I really did. I thought that was kind of unnecessary at the end where Hirsch confronted. I think his name was Todd, the business manager. Um, I didn't think that was very realistic when he confronted. When he came and met them in the suite, and he confronted Kid and was like, I overheard you and your brother talking about the setup, and then he told him that I want the $6 million, and then Kid was just like, Todd, get a man the $6 million. We all a family. I thought that was a lot unrealistic. That's just me. And I didn't see the need. I don't think based on what it was, and I know people they had a thing. You want to clear your conscience and whatnot, and you don't want a guilty conscience and whatever. Um, but based on what he had at stake, because he had his son Christian, and he had his movie career and everything that he had to lose, I don't think you pour your heart out to Hirsch in that minute and Todd and tell them all the details of what happened. It's some stuff that you need to protect yourself and take it to the grave. And so I don't think he would have. Hirsch heard some stuff. He knew some stuff. But you don't sit there and tell them, well, I did this and then I killed this and I killed Ari, and then I shot. You don't come clean with everything. So I thought that was a little. I didn't care how they did that part of it, but again, very small detail. So anyway, like I said, man, I enjoyed it. It was good to see some brothers not being caught up in the streets. Not being drug dealers, not being flat out cold-hearted killers. He was kind of forced into that situation. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty cool. So I see right now on Rotten Tomatoes, I see the critics have it at 60%. Again, this is why I talk about shows, especially black projects, because I think a lot of black films get shitty reviews because the people doing the reviews don't have any connection to this community. They don't care about relationships between black siblings. They don't care about how they handled Kid working his way up to being as successful as he was from the way that he started. And they don't really hold this type of story with high regard. So they give it 60%. I disagree with that. The audience score has it at 80%. That's everyday people like me who take the time to register on RottenTomatoes.com and vote and score these movies. I think that 80% is pretty accurate, to be honestly. I might even go as high as 85% maybe. Again, it's not a an all time classic, but I respect Kevin Hart for making a very down to earth project. And like I said, he's got his name on it. He's the executive producer of whatever. He selected the director. They don't understand the dynamic. Exactly, Janine. You said it better than me. They don't understand and they don't value. I sitting here, what I just told you, as vague as I could keep it, the situations that I've gone through with my brother and the things that I've seen him drag my mother through. I experienced a real connection with watching the frustration between Carlton and and Kid. Just a real quick note. My mom worked hard, and me and my brothers, we didn't grow up around any highly any crime infested areas. We didn't grow up. I didn't grow up in public housing or the projects or whatever assisted. I didn't. I didn't. But some of the shit that my brother would get my mom into, I would get a call that my mom is over in my older mom. My mom at the time might have been 65 or something. You know, but in trying to be that mama bear or that lioness, my mom is over in some of the most dangerous areas in my city by herself with no gun, and she's trying to get him out of something. And and I'm sitting here like, I felt like Kid, like I could do something serious to my brother for being that inconsiderate to drag our mother over into something. So like I said, when I watched that, the dynamics between Kid and Carlton, I kind of connected with that. So I disagree with that 60%. Anyway, I just said too much. My lunch break is over. I hope you check out the show, the series, True Story. I kind of didn't. I thought they could have. Same with me, but we have enough cousins who are in the street. Exactly. I mean, yeah, I ain't. It ain't like I'm totally insulated from everything. So, like I said, I think you get critics out here, who write for these different websites and these different outlets, and they just see some of these movies and they just it's 50%, 55%, whatever. But some of this stuff, if it's done well, it resonates with us. So anyway, Janine, I don't know why you don't let us comment. I would love to comment on some of your videos and be supportive. Since you check in with me from time to time. Maybe you're just not comfortable with that yet, or whatever personal reason. But I will go on your videos and contribute to what you're talking about. I think it's important for us to help each other out and for us to to collaborate and to draw attention to one another. If we really trying to put different content, I'm fixing it. Is it something wrong that it's not letting you turn on the comments, or what's going on? Because like I said, I was gonna tell you, I was gonna comment on a few things. I know when you don't have a lot of subscribers and you don't get a lot of feedback, you don't get a lot of love, you don't get flowers, you don't get support. And I know why you're doing what you're doing. I know why you're talking about what you're talking about. I haven't had a new subscriber in probably 6 or 7 months. I know what I would like to do in the future, but it's hard to get there. So if I can help you out, which ain't gonna be much help at all in the big scheme of things, but I'm gonna come on there and holler at you. So anyway, that's it. Pay me no mind, sports and entertainment. You don't have to be great to start. That's why I always say this, Janine. You don't have to be great to start. You just had to start to be great. Let a dude like me with a little bit of free time come over there and comment on your videos and tell you that thanks. I appreciate you saying enough about a show for me to give it a chance. I don't know if I'm gonna get to that. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna get to that one with on Apple TV with the psychiatrist or the therapist or whatever. I don't know if I'm gonna get around to that one. It really doesn't look like my thing, but you kind of piqued my interest on it, so I might. Let me get on out of here. Please hit that like button if you dig the way at the beginning of this lunch break. My initial thoughts on the show, which is all you really need to focus on, was the first 2 to 3 minutes or the 5 minutes or whatever. Consider subscribing to the shrink. Consider subscribing to the channel. Like I said, I come in on my lunch break here and there when I got something to talk about or I think people should keep an eye out for it, and I just try to share my thoughts on it. And if that's not for you, it's still all love. I'm out of here.